Wow. Okay, so much for that. John,
All right.
the party is yours.
Okay, so most of you know I own part or half of Quadcore broadband, and I brought these in to kind of show how it works. You know, probably you guys pretty much all know how this works, right? Like you got an access point, a receiver, and the backhaul. Well, the access points we use are these prism stations. We do have some of them that have omni antennas. Just depends where they're at, but we always try to use these. These are 90-degree sectors built onto this thing, and they're really nice, really nice. You can turn them up to 28 dBm. They're turned down, depends on, like I said earlier, I don't want the FCC showing up. So these are turned down. I use some kind of formula that tells me, okay, here's the gain of the antenna and how much you got to turn the radio. So these things are putting out, I think, 5.5 watts is what I'm allowed, EIRB. That's, you know, which you turn that thing all the way up, line of sight, you can get about 30 miles. So I mean, that's pretty cool. We had a tower over here on Sunshine Grove Road connected 17 miles to another one off Fallbrook up on Hensley Road, I think it was. And if we have any problems, I was able to get a pretty good signal. It was negative like 64 dBm, but you know, that was really cool. Now they do say with backhauls you can go up a little higher, which all of our antennas in here are within 500 feet of a customer, so we really don't have to turn them up. But these things can go pretty far. And what I like about these,
Are those transmitters or both transmitter and receiver?
this is the 60 gigahertz
That means nothing
backhaul.
to me.
So it's basically like having a fiber ran into this. So
Okay.
your house, you connect to the access point. It goes into a network switch and then comes up to this, and then this takes it to another tower. It does the same thing until finally it gets to this building here. Yeah, so this, I know if you go to the top of the hill, there's actually a lot of hops, but the switches do a pretty good job on, you know, making that work. At first I was trying these different switches. I had a big problem. So the switches I found are actually, I only need 4 ports, but the best one I found was a 16-port switch just because it could do 2 million packets per second. And our router can do 16 million packets per second or 18 million packets per second. So it was really nice to have every tower is pretty much connected to its own port in our router.
Where is the originator?
Right here at the back of the building. So we got AT&T fiber we lease from them, comes underground, and then comes into our router. And then from there, there's wires with all the antennas on the building that connect to the different towers.
Wow.
Yeah, so just depends where you're at, which port you're going into.
Mhm.
And like I said, we were getting ready to switch to the 10 gig. As soon as they turned the 1 gig off, they had to use strands of that fiber on that, and it completely messed up. So they've said they've got to start over. So we're actually getting that's AT&T now texting me, but they're supposed to be here either today or tomorrow to put us up another 1 gig. So we will be back to running on 2 1 gigs just like we were, which was fine. We just wanted to upgrade to 10 gigs because there would be no more upgrades needed after that. I don't think we'll ever use more than 5.
And what does that, in terms of my TV, my internet?
It's gonna make it
What does
faster.
that do for me?
Make it faster. Like if you see any fuzziness,
Because it's been
in your
running
TV,
like crap
yeah,
the last couple days.
Every single person in here is running on that 1 gig.
I
Between
see.
probably 5 and 6 to like 10 o'clock. I don't even attempt to get on at my house because it's just.
Yeah, I don't usually.
I don't want to
use
use
that time of
bandwidth, so
night.
I've been turning my hotspot on. But yeah, even if I had to get something on my phone, it's
Yeah.
quicker for me to just turn off my hotspot or turn off my Wi-Fi and use the cell service because it is just really bad right now. But if they can get that turned on today, I'll send out another email letting everyone know. Okay, they've got it fixed. We're back to normal until they get the 10 gig. But at least we'll have the 2 1 gigs until the 10 gig. But
Yeah.
this last time they had to, like I said, use the strands of fiber, so they turned off that. Meant to have the 10 gig on at night and it never came on. So I don't know what they did, but something messed up.
If,
Like they need more fiber.
are
Yeah.
both those pieces of equipment in your home, if you have?
No,
you-
these are actually on the tower. So at your house, you have a box. It's a little square box. I was gonna bring one, but I haven't. I'm out of them. So basically, like on Carolyn's house, everybody's house, they got a dish-looking thing, almost like this,
It's
but
about
rectangle.
Like that.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Where?
little air.
At the back of
horn.
the house. We always try to hide them,
What do you call the back of the house?
like right behind your house, in the backyard. Like if the road's here, your house is here, we always try to put the antenna in the back, just to hide it. You know? Sometimes you can't do that, but if that thing that goes on your house connects to this, and then it goes, like I said, goes into that, and eventually comes here and goes into the fiber. But it does it all in milliseconds. It's really, really neat how they got this. Now, when Ubiquiti, this is the equipment that I used when they started, and they admit on their blog that their equipment was garbage. And it really was, because I used Transio, it was a company out of Canada when I first started in 2006. And they were actually really, really good, but then Ubiquiti came out and kind of dominated the market, but this equipment was really, really bad. And then they came out with all this other stuff and finally fixed the problem. Now they're like the #1 fixed the wireless equipment besides Microtik. But they're good. They're not real expensive. They're not real cheap. Like this right here is $400, and you need 2 of them to work. You know, you gotta be able to talk to each other. And then these were about $500. The switches are about $600. So each tower could be pretty expensive because if you put this in the center somewhere, since it's 90 degrees, you would need 4 of them on that one tower. So, yeah. And in some of our backhauls, which is what this is a half duplex. If it's going through a lot, then like the one that gets to the top hill, the first 3 or 4 are full duplex, so they can transmit and receive at the same time. They're doing it on different frequencies. Because there would be a lot of congestion if we put a half duplex from here all the way up. It would be bad. Which we started in here like that. We had to upgrade that pretty quick. So this Hargis was cheap.
How many people are on a tower?
We can hold up to, it says 92, but we don't put more than 30 people on one of these. So if we fill one up, we put 30, 32, we add another one. So we can do 12 channels. We use this thing called GPS sync, which every one of these have the GPS antenna, and you can reuse the station. So if you have an antenna this way, an antenna here, these 2 are on different channels, but the ones opposite can be on the same channel. And with the GPS sync, every radio on that tower transmits, stops, and receives all at the same time. So it's sending out to everybody's radio and then catching everybody's radio at the same time. It's something Ubiquiti come out with. We tried it, and it actually lowered our interference a lot. So one thing we do get though, even now, weather radars will impact these things. If this thing detects a weather radar, it's called a DFS attack. As soon as it detects it, this thing has to stop transmitting, switch to a channel. It's supposed to find the clearest channel, and then start transmitting again, and then it notifies me that it happened. But it never picks the clearest channel, so as soon as it happens, I have to log in and reboot it. Otherwise, it's just really, really bad. A lot of times it puts it on the same frequency as everybody's router in their house. So if you got this thing pretty close to your house, if this thing's a lot stronger than your router, your internet won't work at all, or it'd be really, really bad. So, but we happen whenever there's a storm out in the ocean or something's coming, they turn up them radars. It happens a lot, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's the FCC says it. But they are getting ready to release, I guess, 6 gigahertz, and these things are supposed to already be ready to go. So if they can switch everything to 6 gigahertz, we're going to write to that. We won't have to worry about that anymore. So that'd be a real clear channel.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Airplanes won't crash.
No.
Not for me, I hope.
I know on some of our backhauls, our full duplex are 24 gigahertz. The National Weather Service is actually complaining about that when that first came out because they say that interferes with them. But those are really low power. Line of sight, they're about 7 miles, but as soon as you get any kind of rain, you'll be lucky to get a link within a mile.
Wow.
And same with the 60 gigahertz. But these have a 5 gigahertz failover. So if it rains really hard, which we would not have that issue because like I said, they're all close to each other, all the antennas. But if we had one a little bit further, say 1,000 feet, and it started pouring down rain, the 60 gigahertz would lose signal, but the 5 gigahertz picks up right away with no loss. So you don't even know it did it. So I like that, having the 5 gigahertz backhaul.
Are you competing with the 5 gigahertz from the cell towers? and
No,
stuff?
they're actually,
It's on a different channel?
well, they're on,
Subset of channels?
well, the 5G is the 5th generation. They're actually talking about, they're going to do from, I think, 60 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. So they're not even on the 5 gigahertz.
Okay.
Yeah, just like people's router, when I say, I'll tell them when I'm at their house, like, you got your, Quadcore 1300 and Quadcore 1300 5G. I always tell them, connect to the 5G because it's faster. And they're like, oh, we don't want 5G. And I have to explain to them all the time, it's not 5G for cell phones,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
5th generation. This is 5 gigahertz. This has been around in routers for a long time.
So how would I know if I'm on 5G or not?
Your TVs are, if you've never changed them, but if you look,
I haven't
you'll
changed
have 2 of them. You'll have whatever
I
yours.
do it on my phone
Yeah,
for
so,
Wi-Fi.
so if you
It
go to
would look the
Wi-Fi,
same on your phone,
you'll have 2 of them.
What?
it would look the same on your TV.
Yeah.
when you connect to your
Which,
wireless.
every time I hook the TV
I
up,
see.
I always connect it to 5G.
Okay.
Because it's faster.
All right.
But your phone,
I don't think I did use that.
but see, I always tell people too, if they got their phones, it's probably better to use the other one, because with
I
5
think that's what you
gigahertz,
told
it's
me
faster,
last
but it
one.
doesn't go as far and everything, like going outside to your backyard, you might lose your signal. But that one right there is slower, but it goes further. But so you just, it'll work out in your backyard.
Because I think I remember you saying not to use the 5G on my phone.
Yeah, because that's 2.4 gigahertz. And when I first started, actually, my whole internet ran on 2.4 gigahertz. There was no Netflix. My speeds were 1.5 down, 1.5 up. I had a T1. Then I had to upgrade to another T1. We had bonded T1 at 3 megs. Finally got up to 10, and then switched to a fiber. And back in the day, a 20 megabit fiber. Let me think about it. Yeah, it was 20 megs. Was $4,700, and that was a scary risk.
Wow.
We had antennas on radio station towers, like there was an FM radio station tower, police tower, water towers, everything. But when we switched, when we added all that, we definitely had to up our bandwidth, because at this point we were about to cover 6 counties, you know. So it's kind of a risk if nobody calls, but come to find out there was dial up or this or Usenet satellite, and so we ended up getting a lot of customers and was able to pay for it. But that was scary. 20 megs. Right now, we get a gigabit, and it's $2,400 a month for a gigabit.
Wow.
So it's a way better price than what it used to be. If you go through directly through AT&T though, it's $5,000 a month.
Wow.
But we're using ACC Business, which is owned by AT&T, but because of that whole, I guess it's what do they call that? They have to sell it to a third party to make it cheaper. They can't monopolize it, but they have to be higher. So they started ACC Business so they can compete with other companies like AirSpring, who we just left AirSpring and we're on ACC now. And for some reason they get better pricing. Now with our 10 gig, we're gonna have 10 gigs and pay $3,700, and that's even better. So we'll be saving money versus having the 2 1 gig fibers.
John, I understand that the contractual situation between several of these companies is sort of a fluid thing.
Yeah.
And the question I'm gonna get to is, what do you think the stability of the system is, say 4 or 5 years from now?
Oh, pretty good. We usually upgrade, like we just upgraded all these two, and you know, I'm sure next year there'll be another upgrade. Our actual wireless network is pretty good. What our bottleneck is right now is fiber, because we're putting everybody on that 1 gig. But our actual network itself, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but you have a contract with AT&T,
Right. Yep.
and you have a contract with other companies.
Just AT&T, well, it's ACC. The other contract with AirSpring, we had that for 3 years, and as soon as that was over, we went to ACC.
Okay, and you don't have a contract with them?
Just ACC right now. For
Can
2
they
years.
cut, oh, you do have a contract with them, okay. Okay, because I know this system is so fluid and has been for the last several years.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly the law changes, everything has
Yep.
to change.
Yep.
So the stability, you think,
Oh,
from your
yeah.
point of view, maybe 5 years out is still good?
Yeah, I think so, because we have 18 antennas over here, and we have 4 in the forest. And we just added a bunch of them, so that way it just kept the load off of one tower, you know. But our actual network is actually really good. But yeah, if we have to, we just upgrade. Say if we connected everybody in here, right now we've got I think 417 customers in here, and there's about 800 houses there, 280 there. So we can handle, I think, everybody. Because if anything, we can add antennas to even a tower. I know Ben over here by the golf cart trail has 1, and we can add 3 more to that tower with no problem.
So how does ELS fit into this picture?
The HOA helped us get in here because, you know, everybody was complaining about spectrum rates being high. And we do the same thing at Campers Holiday, and we have since 2016. And so they looked at that, we came down, talked to them, talked with the office, and that's kind of how I met everybody. It was about the time they had this Margaritaville party they had out here. That's when I first came down. I was like meeting everybody, and we were deciding. If we were
The
gonna
pool
do that.
party?
No, it was Margaritaville right out here. They had I think they had a DJ, and it was a
Might have
really
been
good
before I
time.
got here.
A lot of people were here.
Yep.
I think it's 2018, June of 2018. And, yeah, so that, but yeah, it turned into that, and then, we actually, to show that it worked, everybody had free internet until November, so we started hooking people up on it pretty quick, and everybody just had it free until November. One, so they could see that it worked, and then two, we were waiting for our fiber to get on, and, because it took, months to get that on. And that actually run the line all the way from wherever I remember when they dug it up, and the next day when they were done, you couldn't even tell where they put it. It was amazing how they did that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so our network, it can handle it, and, yeah, so it's more thanks to the HOA for getting us in here.
But what about the contract situation with ELS? ELS seems to be one thing today, a different thing
Yeah.
tomorrow. I don't know if it's the managers that are controlling it, or if it's the
I don't think-
mid-level management.
I think
Right.
it's a local manager, I don't think it comes from corporate.
Yeah, the contract that we had with them, they just said we could use that back there, and they told us the little corner, so we used the little corner there. They did bring it up, they do want to get the antennas off the roof, because it's a rubber roof, so we asked if we could put a tower back there, and they said, yeah, so now we've got to do that. Which all of our antennas up there are non-penetrating, they got a rubber mat, they got the little stands on there with cinder blocks on them, so they're not gonna put a hole, but they don't, the corporate don't know that, so we're actually gonna build probably a 20-foot tower in the back here, around, 45, a little thicker, around 45, I think that's what it is. I don't think we're gonna do the around 25, because we need it to stay.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, we need to stay still, because when that's connected, if the wind blows it, these are pretty much line of sight. If they moves a little bit, it cuts the signal. So whatever we put back there would be pretty sturdy. And that
Will
one
it-
antenna has a bunch of them.
Will the tower just be for the forest, or will it be for the?
It's for
farms
everybody. It's,
Also,
oh yeah, it's for both sides. It'll be pretty much all these antennas that are up here on a pole back there. But yeah, that runs the whole network. Yeah. Which I like the tower idea better. It would look better, it would just be easier to work on, because we could put an outdoor switch at that point, run a fiber to that switch, and then from that switch, run to all of our antennas. And the Ethernet wires would be within, 10 feet. So I really like that, putting the tower back there. So that was cool, they let us do that. Yeah, so I was fine with that, but that's the only thing they asked, move the antennas. But they pretty much left us alone, so I guess we're good.
Can you kind of fill us in on the camera thing?
Okay.
We had the cameras are up, everything's hunky-dunky,
Yep.
and suddenly, shaboom.
Yep, they approved to get the cameras on, while I was working at the office, they just made it to where I was actually working for the office when I put all the cameras up. Okay, everything's fine. Well, then, after, the whole Shannon with the HR and all that stuff, they said, wait, so we're not paying Quadcore to run these cameras? Because we just let them use our network. I was like, okay, just use our network, and the DVR is in the back here, so it don't need the internet. So all the cameras connect to one of our towers that went into there. They ain't like that. They didn't like the fact they weren't paying. So they wanted all the cameras turned off, and they said they'll bring their own IT in within the next 5 years. So the cameras are off. The HOA is gonna ask to see about getting the cameras, and if they can, you turn them on.
We keep asking,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
they're just not cooperating at all. They
Right.
just, everything that we had in the CapEx budget
Yeah.
for, the next years, like paving and, stuff like that, they, said, okay, we'll do that. Corporate went, nah, nothing,
Yeah.
we're getting nothing, no paving, no nothing.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I don't
It's-
know what they've done, but yeah, it's gotten weird. So,
We're hoping the new board of directors will be able to do something.
but yeah, if the HOA can get it, then that would be awesome.
Mhm.
Because then all we gotta do is turn them on. They're all still here. Just turn them on.
Do I understand that because they weren't paying, they made you turn them
Yep.
off?
Yep, I said, I can start billing you. Nope.
What's the problem?
I know, if you wanna be charged, okay.
That shows you corporate minds.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be going,
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah, you would think, but
Yeah.
yeah, the corporate
Yeah.
world's a weird world,
I
so
know.
they did not want them if they were not paying for them. And even, I even asked the,
From what Bob, was talking about, I think at the meeting, they didn't want the liability of someone keeping watch of the cameras. Like Bill had that set up in his office, and he had a good-sized TV screen with
Yep.
all the different cameras on
Yep.
it. And that's quite a liability to, you
Yeah.
know, for somebody to say, oh, hey, so-and-so did this or something.
Right,
so.
yeah, so they wanted to monitor in Bill's office.
Oh,
So-
right, oh, I understand that, yeah.
So
yeah.
all the, like when, it wasn't like he was in there all the
Right.
time, and you couldn't rewind from there, so to rewind, you had to get on the
Right.
computer
Right,
and pick the time, date, and
Mhm.
download it. There's a lot of times sheriff's office was here, and we gave them all kinds of video. Like,
yeah, and I'm sure they were very happy with that.
Yeah, and then even when it was turned off, they kept going, and I kept telling them, the cameras aren't on.
Yeah.
What do you mean the cameras ain't on? Like, they wanted them turned off. So even the gate had them, we could see
Mhm,
license plates in
yeah.
and out. That was, but yeah, it was pretty good. And you catch all the contractors throwing or the things back in the dumpster.
Yeah, yeah,
And that solar panel, that whole solar panel stuff back there, that worked out great, because there's no
Yeah.
power. And, we got more battery power than we needed, just to make sure, on 5 days, but never had an issue,
yeah, that's too bad that they screwed that one up.
you know.
John, the electrical room for this building is locked.
Yeah.
Is that because your equipment is in there?
No, they keep it locked so nobody just goes in there and messes with it. Like maintenance has a key, Bob has a key. When I wanna get in, I don't have a key. I have to get a hold of maintenance or somebody let me in. So that's kind of a mess at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I have used the car key to get in there for it. You know, gotta get it fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so you don't have any equipment in the electrical room?
Oh, yeah.
You do have?
I got a server right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Two things. First of all, it's been eons since I've worked T1.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that was back in the day.
Yeah.
Secondly, you had been testing, your access points at all the homes?
Yeah.
Are they hardwired or are they wireless?
Like, you're talking about like these or the access points like the customer would use?
Yeah.
They're all, they're hardwired into their outdoor unit. So there's a Ethernet wire that comes down, goes in the house and plugs into a PoE adapter and then into the router.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but you
Oh, yeah, I
were
know.
testing that wireless unit.
Yep,
And.
that's the only one we ever got,
Yeah.
500 milliwatt.
It worked like a champ.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact of them because I wanted to put them inside,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's the only one we ever got. They were always sold out of them, they were a hot commodity, and, they still got them, but it was hard to come by. The little 200 milliwatt ones are they're always available, but them 500 milliwatts, high demand for them.
The hell are you talking about?
Instead of having the antenna on your house, it's actually a box that you can I put on my desk, and I
Yeah.
got the same thing from
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
that, without wires, no
Right,
wires.
yeah, so everything would be right there, you just basically plug it in, you're done, instead of having to run the wire outside.
Just like you can have wireless in your house for your
Yeah,
router,
right,
Yeah,
that's the same concept.
I see,
yeah,
Is that the same kind of stuff they're putting out for the home internet through T-Mobile and some of the other companies? Somewhat,
yeah, kinda, but it was an outdoor unit,
okay.
but we could put it inside, we just wouldn't put the whole thing together, so it was a cone.
Okay.
And, yeah, but it can sit on your desk next to your router. And yeah, I kinda wish we kinda went with that way, but we stayed with the outside stuff, which is probably good anyway. You know, if it starts raining and your house gets wet, it acts as a mirror.
Mhm.
So it's probably better we stayed on the outside anyway. It's a good idea.
John, I have a non-technical question.
All right.
This has to do with the timing out with Hulu.
Okay.
Are you in control of that, or is
No.
it Hulu's?
No, I think it's like every 4 hours. I know people will leave the TV on for animals. They'll come back and it's off. But if you wanna, I think Hulu will still do that. I'm not 100%, but I do know there's settings in Roku that you can turn off that. If you go to settings, system, and then power, you can turn off the power saver. Which that's how we turned it off here. And this TV in here, that's always
Yeah.
running. We turn it off because otherwise in 4 hours it would shut itself off.
Okay. Mine shut off, when there was 1 minute to go in the national championship.
Oh, that's great. Did it say, are you still watching? You couldn't find a remote? Because that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I always ask if you're still watching, and I always hit it, so
Yeah.
like,
You know, I probably did. I had my feet propped up. And
Oh,
I had,
no.
and I had a scotch, and I was really enjoying the game. I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing any warning, but I know most of the time you do get a little warning, but,
Yeah,
that was tough.
check the settings of the Roku. Maybe that'll stop.
Yeah, that's right, I just changed mine today.
So I'm wondering,
Did you really?
I'm wondering if that controls
It's under
Hulu too.
settings, and you just have to go through, I forget exactly where.
Yeah,
but
settings, system.
I just
and
set mine,
power.
turned mine off today.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, you can help me do mine then. 'cause
Power
I wanna
saver.
turn mine
Yeah,
off.
mine too.
Yes.
But we turned
I
power
leave
saver
my
off there and that
TV
TV's been
on.
on for,
At
well,
night.
last I updated it was Friday, so.
It was
Ah,
off one
interesting.
day that we were here.
Yeah, I've seen people come in and unplug it. And when they unplug it and turn it off, I had to get in there and start it up again. Yeah, there's some people
People are so
will,
mean.
the
There's
cord to be
some-
unplugged.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
They're nasty.
Third graders are in here.
They are.
They still-
It never
Just
leaves you.
nasty. They don't like change. They don't like,
It says if you don't change the channel
Yeah.
within 4 hours.
Yep.
But then if you're watching a series and you have 7 seasons to go through.
Now, as soon as you move the remote, it starts over.
Yeah.
So if you go to like season 2 and you hit okay, that 4 hours started over. It's just
Yeah.
if you don't touch your remote at all for 4 hours, it's gonna shut off.
Oh, but you don't have to touch it. What were you watching? 18,
Oh yeah, and it's just going right in the row.
38 or something?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And all of a sudden,
Yep.
are you still watching while
Yep.
it's been on?
Yep.
Yeah, why do they wanna know?
Well,
Leave
even
it
Netflix
alone.
does that, because I've got Netflix and Paramount Plus, they all do it. And I think it's just to save bandwidth, because if you could leave the TV, turn the TV on, and it's all using their servers, they're upstream and everything. So I can see why they'll do it, because you might turn something on and go on vacation for a week. Well, they can save bandwidth and money by, are you still watching? If you don't watch it, they just freed up a little bit of bandwidth. And if they do that with everybody, they'll save a lot of money.
do we have
And that's
Paramount?
where it's at, right under the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we have that Paramount channel?
No, I do. I pay $10 a month for it. The only, yeah, a lot of people in here.
I was just curious. I thought you had said that we might be getting
You're
it.
getting Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. I don't know, that's the thing now. So you can get Disney Plus.
To
Because
hear about
Hulu,
Disney.
Hulu's owned by Disney, and so they just do ESPN Plus and Disney Plus into
Oh,
one
oh,
package.
okay.
That's curious.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're paying for Disney Plus, if there's suddenly you'll start getting.
No
Well,
kidding.
no, Hulu's already in Disney.
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
in there.
Yep, so yeah, they're adding them.
You don't get the Hulu Live where you can stream and record channels, but
It's still cheaper. I mean, we've got Hulu separate.
Oh yeah, well this is
Disney
with the
Plus
Live, this is our,
cheaper than
like the one you
bundle
have.
they're
Yes.
offering.
You'll just have Disney Plus as a separate app and ESPN Plus as a separate app.
$12.
So I don't know how
It's
we
like
do all
80
that,
bucks
but yeah.
for,
That's, you'll have
79
everything you got now, the live
Hulu.
TV and Disney Plus.
and it's,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
yeah,
but the
like
Paramount
12
now,
bucks
that's,
or whatever for Disney.
I think that's owned by
And,
Viacom, or Icon.
Oh, okay.
But
Alright.
yeah, they charge for it.
Yeah.
I forget, maybe,
And do you get a
is
bill?
it like,
Do them, no, you just sign up online and it automatically pulls it out until you
Yeah,
cancel it.
Takes it out of your bank account.
So if you sign up on like the
I
5th,
don't really
it's gonna
care
pull it
for
out the
ESPN,
5th of every
I
month.
don't ever watch it,
And then
so I
if
just-
you
yeah, I'll leave it.
say bought it on the 5th
They don't
and you
want-
hated
they
it
don't
on the
want
6th and
Formula
canceled
One.
it, it's still gonna work until the 5th of next month. Even though you canceled it, it's
ESPN
not gonna
football,
renew.
ESPN hockey, ESPN
Because you've already paid for
Where's the
it, right?
racing?
Yeah.
Where's the racing?
I think all of them do that now.
Everybody goes in a
Mm-hmm.
circle.
But Paramount Plus got some good stuff.
They don't even do
I got it
500
just to watch
circles.
South Park.
I thought you said for us not to buy channels like that.
You can buy channels. You can buy anything you want.
Yeah.
Well, we had a
Maybe it was a
problem with,
movie.
well, you can get movies and
Go to
everything.
the website.
What we had a problem with before is we didn't have HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Stars.
Right.
So somebody would search for a movie and say, hey, click here,
And he's-
and it would charge our
It's
card.
hilarious.
So next thing you know, we're spending $500
Oh,
a
I
month.
see.
So I was like, okay, well, let's just buy everything that's available. And that way they can't do that. And so
Yeah.
we did. So everything in Hulu you have, everything. There's
Yeah.
not one thing you
Yeah.
Oh, he's
have.
going left, he's still
But
going
if
left.
you wanna get Paramount
Oh, no,
Plus,
he's
you
still
can
going
download it
left.
to your Roku and pay for it.
I see.
Yeah,
I
'cause I've
see.
got Netflix, I've got Paramount.
Yeah, I
Plus.
get Netflix. My brother-in-law signed me.
But yeah, anybody can do all that. It's just, now we've got everything in Hulu. So,
I know, it's a lot of TV.
yeah, it is. It's too much.
I can't stay up anymore.
Well, John, they took our clock away.
Yeah,
Oh, they sure did. Look at that.
it's 3:12.
Huh.
They said that they couldn't, the HOA couldn't buy batteries for it.
What?
The clock is broken.
Oh,
See, they,
I
you
thought it
put
was because they couldn't get on a ladder to change the.
Thought it was telling
That
the
sounded good
maintenance
too.
can. We can.
ELS needs to buy a new clock. Let's put it that way.
I'll go find the smallest round clock I can find and put it right there.
Somebody
It'll
put
look like
one
a
on
little
that
dot.
little one, yeah. That would be funny.
He was telling the time for free, so they couldn't have it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's
They weren't
right.
paying that clock. Had to go. Amazing.
We're paying for that time.
You know, we had one of these lights burn out,
Yeah, I saw that last time. I was
and
there.
so I talked to Carrie. I said, could you have somebody come over and replace that light? He said,
Yeah.
no.
More than 8 feet.
said, we can't get on a ladder.
Yep,
I said, well, why don't you bring the ladder over and just leave it here and I'll change the light.
you're allowed.
No,
Oh, yeah, you're allowed. I was at that meeting. I
not
was
their
there.
ladder.
Okay, maybe
I
not.
want
They
their
were-
ladder.
They were actually supposed to get rid of their ladders. When we were at this
Is
meeting,
that right?
yeah,
What
when we
meeting?
all were at that meeting, they said, yep, no more climbing ladders more than 8 feet. If you have a ladder to where when you're standing on it, you're higher than 8 feet, that ladder has to go. Which they do have that nice big ladder. But yeah, all the ladders had to
That's all
go.
those
But you can still use a chainsaw.
So
You
you're
just
saying
can't
there's,
change the light
there's some
bulb.
ladders available cheap in the area?
You just can't change the light bulb that's 8 feet.
And they can't do any more plumbing or electrical
Yeah,
work.
no. This
They
place
have
is
to hire
spending
it
a lot
out.
of
Get a
money.
good used ladder about
Who
it.
can't do it?
Tile, right?
People in the park
The
can't.
maintenance people are not allowed to
Oh.
do plumbing or electrical work.
Well, if I have a water leak and I call them,
Unbelievable.
where is my
Yeah,
shut
it is
off,
a
you know,
mess.
they can't turn it off?
Oh, yeah, they can do that.
Oh,
Yeah, that part they can do. It says like interior plumbing if you have a water,
Oh, yeah.
water leak in
But
your
yeah,
house.
I got a ladder that'll reset, so if you wanna change it, I'll just bring it over on my golf cart.
Oh, do you really?
It'll reset.
Well, actually, I need to work on these lights here.
But if you wanna use that ladder, I'll just bring it over.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
there's one of them A
Don't
ladders
get
too.
on
It's
it.
a nice one.
don't get on it unless somebody's here in case they have to pick you up.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good ladder.
Oh, thank you, Pat.
You get you one of those
I'll
medical
come
alert
over and
things.
How about if you just know how to call 911? Can they come over and watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, it's,
Preventative medicine, what do they call it?
Yeah, so when you wanna use it, because I can bring it over anytime.
Well, let me call you,
Yeah, just call me and I'll bring it over.
because we've got so many activities going on here, I have to hit a slot in between.
Right. Do it during bingo, they'll love that.
Do what?
Do it during bingo. Bingo. It's
and
tonight.
you
Yeah.
put the ladder in somebody's
Got you
special
broke.
place they
Yes.
sit.
Not
Oh, you
that.
would be
And put one of
Bud.
those
Not
objects
that.
that leaks in your pocket, so that way it's hitting
Would be
everything.
Bud.
I'll tell you
You might cause a
seriously,
war.
if you wanna see something interesting, you should see them set up for bingo. It is like a fine-tuned army.
Wow.
Really?
They have, oh my God, they have people doing all kinds of things, because they come in here and they set up to sell all the individual cards. And they've got the people lined up and and people start coming in here at 4 o'clock.
People have their seats and people have.
They have their seats,
I went for the
absolutely.
first time last week.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
It was
did they
great.
let you
Absolutely.
in?
It's fun.
Oh, they let me in, yeah.
So don't take.
You buy a card, they'll let you.
So you gotta ask if this seat's available.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
came late so that I knew that,
Oh,
you
that's a good
Come late.
idea. Come late and everybody's always good.
you can actually come early and buy your stuff, go away and come back.
Yes, you
And
can.
then you.
'Cause
It is
they
interesting.
don't start
It's fun to
until the
watch.
time posted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
Right.
Well, they sent the IP address.
Everything's on a
Great.
and they've
whole.
got, yeah.
Okay, any
It's
other
pretty
questions for
comfortable.
John today?
Who do you call if you need someone to come to your home?
You just call us, yeah.
What's your number?
It's 352
Wait a minute.
593 0281.
What about the other number?
That's the only number. The other
Five
number.
oh one eight.
The what?
5018. Wait a minute, I'll tell you in a second.
No, that's it. 352 593 0281.
Then I get.
0281.
You said 5930281.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
You can say
Didn't you give-
0281 or
oh. Didn't you give me a
0281. It
different
don't
number
matter.
for
They
your
both
cell
work.
phone?
0 and O, whichever one you want to use.
What?
Yeah, 593 0281.
Yeah, but didn't you give me a different
That was
number?
probably my cell phone, which that's
Right.
gotten out everywhere, so it's really bad if I'm working on like the network and I'm getting blown up with text and phone calls. Whenever there's something that went wrong, I change the recording on that number to say, hey, at this time, we're aware of a problem, we're working.
Oh, I bet
If
they
they
have
blow
it
my
under
phone up and make
John.
it to where I can't do nothing, and then I'll go to hit save.
Oh, I do
I
have
hit a
that.
text, it takes me out, and I gotta start over. There's been times where I just like
Got it,
so aggravated,
9291.
kept my phone on the table and then just wait until the ding stopped. I'm like, what are they doing?
Welcome to the world of support.
Yeah, I know, but we got a number for that. And I send out emails randomly, like, I'll get aggravated, and I'll be like, hey, can you guys, even if you're friends with me, I'll say, send this, or call this number, it'll let you know. And, they'll text me, hey, something going on with the internet? You mother-
I saved that email that you sent few years ago about is Hulu having problems, so I can just go right
Yeah.
up to Hulu and see.
Oh,
what-
yeah, the down detector. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
it.
here use that.
Yeah.
But you can use that for anything. If you're having problems with your cell phone, You can go to down detector and it'll tell you. If you're having problems with
down
anything,
detector.
a bank, Wells Fargo, well, they can't get on, you go to down detector. It tells you everything.
You know, one thing we really appreciate too is the fact that you keep us informed.
Yeah, I know, I
That
try.
Yes,
really means
yes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
try to
does.
keep it like everybody knows, you know.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't, I have 1 million people showing up at my house. It's terrible. Like yesterday morning, somebody beat on my door at 6:30. I was still sleeping. Now normally I'm
Dark.
But he's like, "Hey man, I just want to see if we're over here at 103 and want to see if we can get internet." I was like, "It's 6:30 in the morning. What are we doing here?"
Wow.
Scared the hell out of me. I thought somebody's house. was
I
on fire.
bet. Wow.
But I went over and hooked him up later. But I was like, that was
Wow,
crazy.
that's
But
just
you do a good
rude.
job of answering the phone, I'll say that.
Yeah,
But
well,
the times I've called you, I've never waited more than an hour for a call back.
Oh,
And it
man,
depends.
customer service is incredible.
well,
Either
it
you or
depends.
Hargis.
Because Hargis, yeah, if Hargis is in a bunch of meetings, I'll try to answer them. But most time he can. But you know, he's doing stuff anyway. He's on board things for school and all that. And
Yeah,
if
he
I'm in the
is.
middle of an install, like right now, AT&T keeps blowing my phone up. But when I leave here is where I'm gonna call them back. They might be sitting out back getting ready to leave. You never know.
You better go.
Because
So, I doubt it's that. Hopefully.
You
I
can go.
doubt that, but you better try.
Man, imagine that'd be awesome. Walk out and AT&T be there. But as soon as they have this fixed, I'll send out another email saying, okay, everything's fixed. 'Cause, it's a nightmare right now. Darn it. Anxiety is through the roof.
I have bills for that.
Yeah, right.
Anything else for John before we release him to AT&T?
Let 'em go.
Thank
before
you
they
very
leave.
much.
Nah, they're probably not here, but they already called me. They already gave my IP addresses and everything. So
But John, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Now, with your flash on your camera,
Excuse me?
did you have the light on your camera?
I did have him.
And I think it went off when we were going around the room. Not
Yeah.
100%, but I saw
So you
something.
didn't get any of this?
Yeah, probably none of it. But
Find out.
something happened, I think when you started talking, it caught my attention, I couldn't find it, but then I was like, oh, I bet he had the flash on. To tell him it was still recording.
Yeah, and may have decided it had enough.
Yeah, yeah, who knows,
Which is all right, there's no problem.
right?
Right.
All right, well, you guys
Thanks,
have a good
John.
one.
Thank you.